So when it comes to companionships and relationships, first we need to be in a companionship before we even get into a relationship. But the most proper and efficient way to be in a relationship is to have a relationship with God. And I don't mean that in a religious way or any type of indoctrinated bias or emotional bias way. When I mean by God, being in the presence of God is being in the presence of nothing, not letting any biases dictate your emotions, or not letting no emotions overcome the best of you. And you must know what these things are. You must be selfless enough to become spiritual to the point where you dive deep within yourself and you have to understand thyself in the most sufficient way. And as humans that like to get lost in desires, you're not gonna understand yourself in the most efficient way if you're getting lost in desires, if you're drinking too much, if you're smoking crack too much. There's nothing wrong with smoking weed. It's just if you smoke too much and not have a balance, you won't see yourself clearly. So I understand that because I've been through that. So when it comes to being in the presence of God, you have to be in the presence of no thing. You have to detach yourself from biases and emotional biases. And you can't let no worldview let you be so selfish of your ways. You can't be afraid of death. That's, we're spirits in a human fleshy body, physical body. So we're spirits before we're physical. If you cannot understand that, then a big spirit cannot mingle with you. You're letting biases dictate the importance of connecting and relations in the most proper way when it comes to being in the presence of God, the true God, which is no thing. So if you're a religious person and you think you're within God, everybody has a presence of God within them. But for the most part, all of y'all are very, very far away from that space, even though y'all have some of it within you. Everything is going to have a presence of God within them. But especially humans, y'all are the most indoctrinated species on earth. And y'all have too many templates and biases and just mental structures that keeps you away from that space of no thing. So when you think God is a figure outside of you, you're already externalizing something, an image, an imagination outside of you. And that's not how it works, because you're not supposed to imagine it with your mind, because with the mind is how you're creating your image, your space, your reality. And with the emotions, you're internalizing that reality and you're bending into that reality. And that's how you got born through your parents. So, yes, it's obvious that you can say God is real, because God is real. How else will everything be made? But the way you're thinking about it and the way you're imagining about it is not the proper way, because we're supposed to meditate and, just see it for what it is and stop calling it God. You're supposed to feel the presence of no thing, being in the presence of nothing, instead of, being, obvious about it. Oh yeah, of course there has to be a God, because, you have this mindset on you that why wouldn't there be a God if we're on earth? What else will create earth? So there has to be a higher power. I understand where you're coming from, but you got the wrong starting point. God does not want you to think about it or imagine about it, even though you could, even though it's obvious. But the most proper way to connect with God is to meditate and find out within yourself, and you need to have an extraordinary amount of belief in yourself, because that's what God wants you to do. It wants you to believe in yourself to find out the truth of everything. But if you don't believe in yourself that you could, and if you think it's, a load of bullshit, then that's the reality that you will settle for. Just pure limitations within what reality that you're in. So when it comes to small spirits like that, we cannot engage. Big spirits cannot engage with small spirits like that, because there is nothing to relate about, unless that spirit is willing to learn and let go of their biases. If they see something within us that can be, a working hand. But, I don't have that much confidence and belief on regular humans like that. So with big spirits, we have to maintain that space of no thing in order for us to be in a relationship. First of all, in a companionship first, and then a relationship. Because I hate saying friendship, because that shit sounds corny. Because friendships is not really, I don't like using friendships. I like using companionship, because a companion is someone you can depend on, someone you can count on, someone who you can work with. As big spirits, we already sense each other's spaces of being in that space of no thing. And we all have that common knowledge of, communicating and expressing ourselves when it comes to whatever we're doing, our goals, our art, music, whatever it is, teaching. So yeah, we can always work around each other and become companions, but we have to put the spirit first, being in the presence of no thing, not letting your mind or your emotions dictate the moment or the presence. So yeah, if a human cannot understand that, then they're too much lost in their biases. So for humans, you guys have to search somebody that has a common interest with you, a common goal, someone who's serious just as much as you are. And the universe is going to gravitate people who are there meant for, who they're meant for. And I would advise people to put God first. You're not going to be in the same level as a big spirit, but for y'all, you have to put your belief in God. Because you're not going to understand the depth of what I'm talking about. So since you humans are limited with that perception of belief in God, you're going to have to go through more trials and tribulations in maintaining that companionship, friendship, or relationship. So it's going to be a rocky road compared to a bigger spirit, where it's going to be much more fluid and easier, because we come from that space of being selfless and having no biases. So with a regular human, they already have so much ideologies and just worldviews and biases that they're going to have to automatically connect with people who are similar and want to connect with somebody who thinks alike, just like them. And it's like so much structure, mental structures. It's gonna resonate to a certain degree. It's gonna resonate, but the thing is, relationships are gonna be tiresome, and people are gonna get tired of each other, and it's gonna be something that is needed to spark up a new flame. And you must have a certain goal within each other. The man has to have a goal and provide, and the female is supposed to help and nurture the man and make him feel needed, as a man is supposed to make the female feel safe and just take care of her and work, just work with each other and work with each other's passions and goals. So, you know, it's gonna be a lot of learning and uphill battles for regular humans. And, you know, it's just, it is what it is. Y'all been doing what y'all have been doing for the longest. And, you know, as you can see, a lot of people, relationships don't last that long because y'all too much stuck in your own selfish desires. That's what it is. You're just stuck in so many desires. And once you get tired of each other, you're on to the next one. And on to the next one, and on to the next one. That's why y'all feel lonely. And, you know, you're having sex with so much people that these energies get stuck to you. These mentalities, these emotions, these traumas, these spirits get stuck to you. And it might take a while for you to overcome that. And, you know, that will be your own spiritual journey to, you know, eventually you're gonna want somebody to love and to, you know, just connect the proper way. And, you know, it's gonna be a journey for you to go through these things. But, you know, I guess I'm gonna just leave it at that.